morning. Dr. Tony in the house. Woo! Hardcore Fit Berry, I tell you what, today's Friday, which means Fun Fact Friday. Now, fact is, many of you out there work in an office setting. And if you work in an office setting, you sit and you sit a lot. So I want to go over a couple techniques to help you when you're sitting at work, not to hurt your low back and not to hurt your knees and your hips. So we're going to do that right now. So Shannon, what I'm going to do first is, I'm going to come on over here. I'm going to just give me a side view. So I don't have an office chair here, but we can simulate this with this box. If I'm sitting at my office and I had a backrest, you should have a backrest and it should come up to about shoulder level. If it's below shoulder level, not good. So you want it to be right around shoulder blades or higher to protect the low back. When I sit at that desk, many of you, when you're sitting here typing, you sit on the edge of your chair and you lean forward and you type, write, and do all your computer work, etc. When you do that, it puts an extreme amount of pressure on the low back. So you want to sit back against your chair, the backrest. That's why it's called a backrest. When you sit against the backrest, again, having it come up to here, and you want to make sure you have a very good lumbar supine support. If you do not, get one. Otherwise, your low back is going to fall forward. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing here. It'll do this. And then it actually creates a problem in the spine and it overextends the muscles and it creates spasms. So number one, sit back against your chair and use your backrest. That's number one. Number two, you want to be approximately 90-90 with your feet and your knees. 90 degrees when you're sitting. Don't do this. If you do this, especially if you have a knee issue, you're going to create a big problem in your knees. All right? So you want to be sitting like this. You can also sit like this is fine too. About every 20 to 30 minutes, get up, move around. Okay, get up, move around. You want to make sure that you're constantly moving. If you're sitting like this for hours and hours, it stops blood flow to the legs, number one. It creates, you can come through. It creates problems with your legs and you don't want that, okay? You have hip issues as well, so you want to make sure that you're moving around consistently. So, low back, major league important. Sitting properly, do not do this, especially if you have a knee problem. Massive. Now, I'm going to show you one more thing. Come to the side one more time. When you're sitting at your desk, you're sitting back nice and comfortable and you're like this. Make sure that not just this part of your arms are on that table. So say you're using a mouse or you're typing, you want to make sure that the table is resting right about here. So when you're here and it's resting, you're not using your shoulders to hold up your arms. If you have lots of tension in your traps, that's where it comes from because you're out away from the desk and everything's kind of hanging, especially if you're mousing. And what happens is you're using the arm, okay, rather than just the hand. So get that arm or push your chair in so that desk is right here. So when you mouse, it's not going to bother the trap or the shoulder. That's huge. When I used to do chiropractic regularly, this was big. One other point I can make for you. If your computer is off to the side, that's a problem because you're either going to be turning your neck the whole time, which creates muscle imbalances, or you're going to turn your body, which is going to create a muscle imbalance in your lower back. A problem. Your workstation should be straight up and down, looking straight ahead, and doing all your work like this and making sure that table is right underneath the arm. Okay? So I think that's as much information I can give you about workspace, but when you're sitting, follow those rules and you'll find you'll have less problems with your low back, you'll have less problems with your shoulders, and you'll have less problems with your hips and knees. Okay? I hope that helps you out. So Fun Fact Friday says, sit right at your desk. Because if you don't, it creates pain and problems. Make sure you're getting up every 20 to 30 minutes and moving around. Woo! I love it, baby. Tomorrow is Saturday. Have a great weekend. Hopefully, I'll see you back here on Monday. So please share this video. If you have questions or comments, comment. I'm more than happy to help you with all your questions. Dr. T in the house. I'm out.